I wanted to announce that the Upward Thought Foundation has officially been approved as a 501c3 nonprofit by the IRS, and I'm pretty happy about that. I had no idea if that was going to work or not. I've never done that before. So that's good. If any of you are exceedingly wealthy old people who were waiting who were waiting to see if that got approved before you donated your estate to me, no, I'm just kidding. But realistically, I know that there are people out there for whom that makes a big difference, and so it's all set up. It's on my list of things to do to update the language on the website, but I can make a video and upload that much quicker than making those changes. So look for that on the website soon. But until then, all the donation mechanisms at upwardthought.org/donate that connect to the foundation, those are all officially tax deductible as far as the law allows for 501c3s. And in case you're curious, the decisions are always backdated to the date of the founding of the company. So if you were to look at the approval letter, it's backdated to the when the foundation was started. So anyone who has donated to the foundation until now, those all fall under the tax deduction laws as well. So that's good news. And while we're on the topic, I want to thank everyone who has donated. I was just praying, in fact, and thanking God for that. And in that prayer, I said, Lord, I was asking for Him to bless all the people that have, and explained that those donations come from people who are looking for a way to give back to God, not necessarily give to me. And I was asking that He bless each of you with double what you've given in the currency that means the most to you and Him. Now that might sound complicated, but it didn't in my mind when I prayed it. I hope you understand what I'm going for there. And I know that in all things, God blesses us. Every sacrifice we make for Him, that's something that He ordains, and that's meaningful and sincere from us. He always exchanges that for things of much greater value. And that's a principle of what covenants are. Essentially, what God asks for us from us at the end of the day is everything. But in exchange for that, He gives us everything that He has. So it's everything we have for everything He has. And I'm not, please don't misinterpret this as me saying that you should therefore send me all of your money. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm talking about general principles. But specifically in this case, I also ask the Lord to help me be aware of ways that I could be a part of that if there are things that I can do. And I saw the books that I'm writing sort of flash before my eyes, and maybe you don't know, that's what happened. And all the moments, the many moments every day when I'm cranking away on these books, and I have been for many years now, and I just keep going. And it's like, sometimes it's like crawling through, I don't know. I remember one time in the military, and I was in a training situation where this is a basic training, we were low crawling through a field that had barbed wire just overhead. It was quite low to the ground, maybe a foot off the ground, and we had to crawl under that, so your face is in the sand. And we had been doing this all day. It was nighttime, and it was hot. It was in the south in the summertime, and we had full uniforms on, long sleeve uniforms, and just there's sand everywhere. And my elbows are bloody, my knees are bloody. Not terrible. I mean, it wasn't, but it hurt. And I just remember thinking, what the heck am I doing here? Is this really what I want to do? And I thought, yeah, I'm all in. This is what I chose, and I'm going to do it. And so I switched off my brain, and I just crawled my little buns out across this football field length of sand under this barbed wires. People are shooting machine guns over your head and setting off fake artillery simulators and things. And I got through it, and whatever, right? And since then, I've gone through a million different, much harder things. But in a sense, the writing it's like that, where you just have to keep going. You just have to keep crawling. And I wish there were better ways that I could convey what that's like, but that's what it's like. And it's amazing because because I've done this for so long, it's not that it's any easier, but I'm quite accustomed to it. And it's just like, okay, this is the grind, keep crawling. And you never know. I think I described something similar to this to a friend of mine recently, using the analogy of hitting a boulder with a sledgehammer. And maybe you've had the displeasure of doing that. I know I have. I did it the other day, in fact. But sometimes you need to move a boulder, and there's no other way to do it except hit it with a giant hammer until it cracks, right? And the thing is with every blow, you don't have any idea whether it's going to result with a fracture or not. You just have to hit it as hard as you can, again and again and again and again. And when you've decided that essentially that this boulder has become an existential purpose in your life, that this is what you're going to do until the thing cracks or until you die trying, then it changes things, right? And it's a huge blessing to be able to live life with that kind of focus. But I think that blessing is actually much more available to others than is used. I think that you could probably find your own boulder, and maybe you should look for it. This book that I have not officially announced on here yet, so this doesn't count. Joy on Purpose. I actually published it over the weekend, last weekend. So it's been out for almost a week now, maybe exactly a week now. And I'm going to do a full intro video on that, but I wanted a copy to hold, and Amazon takes its sweet time sending books to us Montanans. So I ordered some copies for my family, my mom and my siblings, and she lives in Maryland right now, and they got there yesterday. I think my copies are getting here on Monday. Anyway, not to drone on about that. But that book hopefully will help you find a boulder to sledge in your life. But this is mine, and it means a lot to me for you all to support my time to be able to do that. And so I'm going to keep on marching. And as I was praying about this, the Lord was flashing the books and the moments in front of me into my memory from what all this time that I've logged on these things, and the constant crawl that it's been. In His providence, the way He's arranged things is that these books are not going to come out like once every 10 years. And I think I tend to be overly optimistic about things like this as far as trying to predict a publication pace. But I'm working on the other book, the next book already. But these books are in various stages of done. And there are about 24 of them right now. And so one thing I can promise you is that, except in very rare exceptions, I am going to publish these books faster than you can read them. And that's really crazy to think about, that I'm going to write these books and publish them faster than you can read them. But in the Lord's wisdom, that's the way it's going to be. And that's why this book that's coming out, one of the things I hope really results from this is massively more efficiency in your life. As you read those principles and live them, you're going to find ways to be much more efficient. And that's going to be important. So I wrote you a book so that you can have more time to read the other books I'm going to write you. I find that hilarious, but that's just my sense of humor, I guess. But it'll help you get much more out of life in all the ways that you find provide you value. So thank you for your donations. Officially, the ones going to the 501 to the foundation are now officially 501c3 donations. And for those who don't need the tax deduction, I continue to appreciate you sending that to the first section on the donate page, which is directly to me as donations. Those, the IRS gives you, I think, $17,000 a year per person. So if you're a couple, you can double that in gifts that you're allowed per individual to an individual. I'm not saying that very well. 17,000 to each person. I think it might be higher than that in 2024, but you should always check those things out yourself and or talk to an accountant or lawyer. But I appreciate that. It long story short, more of it gets to what you're donating it to instead of getting scraped off with taxes. So, and that might be a funny thing for you to think about with how could that be less tax than sending it to a nonprofit. The way that money comes out is through paychecks, right? Paychecks to me. So payroll tax still has to come out of that. Anyway, so that's what that's all about. But yeah, I think that covers the bases. I appreciate it. Thank you. And let me know if you have any questions. upwardthought@gmail.com. Take care.